He calls himself a revolutionary and a soldier, but judges at the International Criminal Court found Bosco Ntaganda is a war criminal who both commanded and committed horrific acts against civilians and child soldiers. After a 3-year trial, Ntaganda was found guilty on 18 charges, becoming only the 4th person ever to be convicted of war crimes by the ICC.
For the reasons I have just summarized, the Chamber, having heard all of the evidence presented by the parties, finds you, as concerns count 1, guilty of murder as crime against humanity, guilty of intentionally directing attacks against civilians as a war crime, guilty of sexual slavery as a crime against humanity.
Ntaganda led a rebel army that fought in the gold-rich Ituri region in the Democratic Republic of Congo's northeast in the early 2000s. Observers say tens of thousands of people suffered under his command. Human Rights Watch documented some of their stories.
I was 11 years old. We were playing when Bosco Ntaganda's soldiers abducted us and took us to him. We were tortured to toughen us up.
He was brutal to me. He brutalized me by raping me.
Despite an international arrest warrant, Ntaganda went on to become a general in the Congolese army. Yet he lost power, and in 2013 he surrendered himself to the ICC. Ntaganda now awaits sentencing. He faces up to 30 years in prison.
We'll get more on this from Maria Elena Vinoli from Human Rights Watch, which provided the interviews with Ntaganda's victims that you saw in that report. She also visited eastern Congo, investigating for the ICC. Welcome to DW. You must be pleased with this result.
Very much. In fact, today is a very important day for justice. Today, the verdict against Bosco Ntaganda really finally provides a measure of justice for the thousands of victims of the crimes committed by himself and by his troops. And it also sends a strong message to other perpetrators, even those believed to be untouchable, like Bosco Ntaganda was, that justice will one day catch up with them.
And what kind of impact will today's conviction have on the DRC?
So today, as I said, today is a very important day for justice, and the thousands of victims of Bosco Ntaganda will finally receive some justice. But we should not forget also the other victims of other crimes committed, not only by Bosco Ntaganda, but other war criminals in the Congo that have yet to be brought to justice. And the recent resurgence of violence in the Ituri district of the Democratic Republic of Congo also sharpens the need to address the impunity gap that still exists in Congo. And this means, on one hand, for the ICC prosecutor to really have a strategy, a clear strategy to address this outstanding accountability need, but also, on the other hand, for the Congolese government to commit to strengthen its effort to investigate and prosecute grave international crimes at the domestic level.
And why did Bosco Ntaganda turn himself in?
There are many speculations around the reasons why he turned himself in. He was part of this armed group, the M23, which at the time had some internal divisions. And so, it seemed like for him at that point was safer to surrender himself to the U.S. Embassy in Kigali, Rwanda, rather than stay where he was within the armed group he was part of at the time.
Well, thank you for joining us, Maria Elena Vinoli from Human Rights Watch.
Thank you.